now. Time to make a change.
Step number 2 is let it go. If you're sitting next to someone, look at them and say, let it go. You know, I'm reminded, I grew up in the early 80s, and I'm reminded of one of my mom's favorite singers. It was a singer by the name of Teddy Pendergrass, and I can hear my mother now, whenever he would come on, she would say, Teddy P, Teddy P. Well, Teddy Pendergrass had a song he used to sing that was very popular, entitled Let It Go, and he would start out, he'd say, I think I better let it go, looks like another love TKO. Well, don't worry, I am working on keeping my day job, but the point is that in life sometimes you've got to let it go. The challenge that most of us have is that we aren't willing to change. We want other folks to change. We want them to change the way they look. You're too big, you're too small, your hair is too short, it's too long, it's not brown enough, it's not blonde enough, whatever the issue is, we want other folks to change, but we're really not interested in changing ourselves. But if we truly want to embrace change and achieve greatness, then we have to begin by changing ourselves. And part of changing ourselves is simply just letting it go. Whatever's bothering you, just let it go. Water off a duck's back. To use a sports analogy, if you have the capacity to just hold on to the end of the game until the ref blows the last whistle, then you will be rewarded simply for sticking it out, simply for holding your ground, simply for never letting go. You know, I'm reminded of when I was getting ready to get married. I talked to a friend of mine who had been married for many years, and he had been pretty successful in his marriage, and I asked him, I said, well, what, in your opinion, is the key to a successful marriage? And he looked at me and said, Elvin, when it comes to dealing with your wife, win when you can, retreat when you have to, and roll with the punches, because you're going to lose most of them. In closing, my friends, I just want to say that you ought to count your blessings instead of your curses. You ought to count your gains instead of your losses. You ought to count the good that's going on in your life. You ought to count the things that are helping you to succeed. If you do that, everything is going to work out and everything is going to be all right. And you'll begin to be able to finally let it go. Thanks so much. We appreciate your time and participation in step number 2, 10 action steps that you can take now to embrace change and achieve greatness. Step number 2, let it go.
Now.